Hello, welcome to the Afrocentric Woman. Thank you for tuning in. Good morning. And for those who are catching the replay, good day, night, morning, whatever time you're catching the replay. So last night, when I jumped online, I was having a glass of wine, and this morning I am having some tea. I'm having some lemon, cayenne, garlic, and ginger with just a little drop of honey. Pardon me. It's a little drop of honey. Let me see. Let me check my audio real quick. Let me know if you can hear me. Testing, testing. Okay, I'm assuming yes, I can be heard. All right. So I made a little community post last night about this Keke Palmer pregnancy announcement. And honestly, that's really all I was planning on doing was just making the announcement and moving on. But when I read this article, I was just so disgusted that maybe disappointed is a better word. Disappointed is probably a better word than disgusted. I was disappointed when I read this article because it just confirms everything that we know to be true about the situation. Um, from the outside looking in, and it's just like, little sis, what are you doing? Why? Let me read this article and I'll kind of point out to you what stood out to me about the situation. All right. So it says, Love Gone Wrong. The notorious Private Lauren Kiana Keke Palmer and Darius Jackson. First of all, his name tells us everything we need to know. Darius Jackson. Okay. Tells us everything we need to know. Also known as Darian Dalton, went public with their romance when the Scream Queens actress shared a photo of the pair on her Instagram account in August of 2021. Over the years, Palmer has remained tight-lipped about key details surrounding the couple's relationship, preferring to keep her dating life as low-key as possible. Who is Keke Palmer? Palmer, who has been acting since the age of 9, got her first big break by appearing in 2004's Barbershop 2: Back in Business. The actress has also appeared in 2006 Medea's Family Reunion and starred in Nickelodeon series True Jackson, VP from 2008 to 2011. She landed her first leading role in 2006 Aquila and the Bee as the 11-year-old who competes in a Scripps National Spelling Bee. 3 years later, Palmer made history as the youngest ever talk show host on BET, Just Kiki. That same year, she became the first Black actress to play Cinderella on Broadway. I hate saying it was a huge deal that I was the first African American to ever be a part of the musical, she told Essence in 2016 about being the Disney princess. But I loved that my little brother and sister got to watch this show and actually see a diverse world just like the one around them. The former child star also appeared in Showtime series Masters of Sex, FX Scream Queens, and even took up guest hosting duties on ABC's Strahan and Sarah in 2019 while Sarah Haynes was out on maternity leave. Ultimately, the show was brought on pardon me. Ultimately, she was brought on as a co-host and producers rebranded the show as Strahan, Sarah, and Kiki. The show, however, was axed in May of 2020. In 2022, Palmer appeared alongside Common in a dramatic thriller, Alice, an indie film that debuted at the Sundance Film Festival, and one of her biggest movies to date has been the Jordan Peele horror film Nope, which hit screens July 2022. The Broadway album is also, oh, pardon me, the Broadway alum is also an animation veteran, having lent her voice to talents to the 2022 Pixar film Lightyear in the role of as the role of Izzy Hawthorne, who was Darius Jackson. Okay, so this is the important thing to compare, okay? Because that was part of Kiki's resume, but that's not even her whole resume, okay? That's just a part of what she's done. That's not even exhaustive of everything she's done. You can go look her up on IDMB and see more stuff that she's done. Okay, who is Darius Jackson? HBO fans may be familiar with Darius's younger brother, Sarunas Jackson, who appeared in the Issa Rae series Insecure. Keke Palmer also appeared in the comedy. Okay, so stop here. Let's just stop here. Darius is so unaccomplished that the only way they can even make this guy relevant is to compare him to his brother who it has done something. That's sad. That's extremely sad. You're so unaccomplished that they cannot even talk about your own accolades, your own accomplishments, your own productions, your own companies. They have to refer to your brother and defer to your brother. Okay. According to his LinkedIn page, Darius has been working in both fitness and entertainment for more than 6 years. He also runs a YouTube channel which has amassed 19,000 subscribers. I see you, US Magazine. You trying to make it do what it do, but you ain't got much to work with, baby. You ain't got much to work with. The site claims he is also an instructor at Empire Fitness. Y'all, he's a fitness instructor. Okay, let's just keep it all the way 1,000. Okay. The workout guru, which they're being very generous with the guru brand, the workout guru is seemingly interested in expanding his career into the film industry, listing his experience as varying between acting, stand in, background, sports reporting, sports marketing, and writing. He's a hodgepodge of nothingness. Okay. All right. Is that everything? Okay. Oh, there's still more. Uh, okay, that's an ad. Okay, when did Keke Palmer and Darius Jackson first meet? The two have kept their relationship private, but it's believed that the pair met at Issa Rae and Diddy's Memorial Day party in May 2021. In August of that same year, they went public via his Instagram page with a special birthday post from Jackson. This is important to listen to as well. You've been a blessing from above, he wrote at the time. Never would I have expected summer 2021 to turn out the way it did, but here we are. I'm glad we were able to listen, help each other through our lowest times. Now, let me tell you what he's really saying. He's saying, thank you, Kiki, for helping me through my lowest times. Okay. Thank you for being a blessing to me. Thank you for saving me from eviction. Thank you for saving me from destitution. Thank you for saving me from being a bum on the corner. She did the exact same thing that the one of the Maury sisters did. I'm sorry, I always get T and Tamara mixed up. Which one was it that picked up the dude off the bus stop? Kiki just turned around and did the exact same thing. What he's really saying is thank you for helping me at my lowest time. And show one another, listen to this, y'all, and show one another what we are bringing to the table is everything we got. So he has 3 trash bags, and that's what he has brought to the table. Kiki has her entertainment empire. Kiki is bringing to the table her entertainment empire, okay? Her residuals, her royalties, her brand, and the equity in her brand, her personality, her charisma, her star power. That's what she's bringing to the table. She is all of that. And you're bringing to the table Sir Darius Jackson 3 trash bags. Of course, he took this Instagram post down, but they got it. They got it. And that's why I decided to do this video, because we have to listen in between the lines, and younger women do not need to make the same mistake. This is not wise. What Keke Palmer has said about dating. The proud family actress has stated she likes to keep work and romance completely separate, opting not to date someone in the same career as her. But if you listen, Mr. Darius Jackson wants to get into entertainment. He's saying he wants to get into it. He doesn't really have any career right now, just like Corey Hardrick didn't have a career when he met Let me see what y'all telling me. Tia, thank you. Thank you, Josie. Tia. So when Corey met Tia, he didn't have really, he was a background actor as well, doing, little stand ins and didn't have a career and was taking the bus. He was literally on the bus stop. Okay. So Darius is the same. He doesn't have a career. He wants to get into entertainment. And I bet you by golly he's going to use Keke Palmer's connections to weasel his way into the industry. And when he gets good and done, he will divorce her, or he will make it so insufferable to be with him, she will file for divorce. I mean, we've seen this play out over and over and over again. And Kiki has her head in the sand and she doesn't want to be wise. Look, I have a feeling what's going on with her. You know, if you haven't been there, you might get there one day, but I get it because I've been there. My theory about the situation is that Kiki met this guy. Obviously, she's in that age range, right? That 25 to like 35. That's when you like really have baby fever, especially like your late 20s, you start getting baby fever for sure. And I think that she met this guy and she was infatuated with him physically, and it's now time to get married, right? It's time um to solidify a true real relationship so that you can have your baby fever within a marriage and you could bring forth a child in a committed relationship with a man who can take care of you. You can go on maternity leave. If you never want to act again in your life, you would have the ability to retire from acting if that's what you want to do, or retire from entertainment and just raise your children because you would choose a man who could take care of you, right? But Kiki is having her baby fever time with a struggle bandit. And so she's hobbling together whatever kind of situation she can to just force it to work instead of having being strategic and putting herself in a position to secure a husband that can take care of her. She is the breadwinner of the situation. She is responsible for taking care of him. You see, he will use her um, for all of her connections, just like Corey did for Tia. And when he gets established, he will probably become insufferable and force her to file for divorce, or he will file for divorce. She will be left with this child to raise on her own, and that will be that. That will be the situation. I don't mean to be like so doomsday because I mean I don't like being the Debbie Downer, but I just don't see any other way that this can work out. She hasn't even given herself time to really know him. She just met him last year. I mean, I've heard of people getting engaged in like 6 months and stuff like that. So it's not impossible to have a fast moving relationship. But typically, those are relationships whereby the things are being checked off, like assets are being checked off, like you're getting written into the will, and like the person comes from a decent family and they have the ability to buy you a nice ring through them, and the family has the ability to pay for a nice wedding, reception, etc., bringing together the families. They would still have time to do premarital counseling, possibly, through a religious institution if you're in religion or whatever, or just through therapy. But there's still stuff happening, right? Even if it's a fast paced moving situation towards marriage, it's not impossible. But when you're just like hanging out with somebody that you just met at a party last year, and oops, boom, you're pregnant, and then you're like, oh, well, let me just try to make it worse because I want a baby anyway. It's like you're going to learn the hard way. Any woman that doesn't want to learn from other women's mistake will learn the hard way. And I'll tell you, it's not fun. It's not. It really is not. I've always had the same philosophy when it comes to dating, she told Harper Bazaar in March 2020. Not that I wouldn't give someone a try, but trying to keep my private life outside of my work life, to me, it's the easiest way when you don't date someone in the same career. She continues, I think a lot about, like, does this person really like me, for me? And it's not just romantic relationships, it's friends too. That wavering, that's the most traumatic thing about fame, which I get. And I think some of her trauma that she's talking about is dealing with black male celebrities. I think that that's the real trauma that she's been dealing with. The Trey Songz situation and jokers like him. I think that that has been very traumatic to Kiki, and it has sent her in the wrong direction. She thinks that she's going away from entertainment by marrying the help. Basically, this guy is a fitness trainer, he is the help. She thinks that she's going away from entertainment, but what she's actually doing is staying in entertainment because he has aspirations to get into entertainment, and he is realizing his aspirations through leveraging her contacts and leveraging her network and leveraging her celebrity and leveraging her fame to catapult himself into a career. He's using her to level up. He's using her to level up. Going back to the article. However, the Lightyear performer did open up about her then new romantic connection with Jackson when appearing on the Tamron show. Asked on the Tamron, Dios mío. Okay, I'm sorry, this sentence is a little wonky. Tamron asked what attracted Palmer to her boo. She cited his authenticity, saying that while she understands the industry she's in, that's not what he's about, and referred to him as industry adjacent. He's industry adjacent, but through you, he will become in the industry. I remember seeing this clip on the Tamron show. What I was praying, what I was hoping was that Kiki was with like an executive. I was hoping that Kiki was with a producer. I was hoping that Kiki was with a financier. I was hoping that Kiki was with a lawyer, an entertainment lawyer. I was hoping that Kiki was with, a real estate mogul that sells to celebrities. I was hoping that Kiki was um, with a writer or something that has a body of work. I was praying that Kiki was not talking about a showrunner. I was praying that Kiki was not talking about a fitness trainer. I was praying that Kiki was not talking about a wannabe manager or a wannabe agent. I was praying that Kiki was not talking about a stylist or a chauffeur or a security guard. But I was wrong. Unfortunately, my prayers were not answered, and she absolutely chose the route to go down, down, down. Industry adjacent doesn't have to mean industry, you know, low tier workers. Sorry, this is sounding very classist, but I mean, this is a life or death situation. And so it absolutely, yeah, sure, fine, be classist. Maybe I am, but it has to do with your mental well-being as a woman and your ability to be able to raise your children in peace, to be able to raise your children partnered. And so, yes, if that means you got to be classist to marry up, then darn it, do it. The journalist turned talk show host also asked the actress what a date looked like between her and Darius, with Palmer saying she likes to keep it casual, nothing that she enjoys a little retro vibe, with the pair often attending drive-in movies and heading to the boat cinema event. If can y'all, I mean, can it get any dustier than that? I mean, Kiki, look at you. You're beautiful. You're gorgeous. You could be living the life like Lori Harvey. Why not? Why not? You absolutely could. You could literally be running in the same circle as Lori if you wanted to. I'm certain you have access to her, and I'm certain that hanging out with leveled up friends like a Lori Harvey, hanging out with leveled up friends is going to put you in leveled up environments. Hanging out with friends who date up is going to give you access to a higher caliber of man. Okay? Hanging out with friends who are leveled up increases your value as well, your perception of value. Going to the drive in with a dusty diminishes you. It diminishes you. You think you're keeping it real. You're going to keep it real all the way to raising this baby by yourself because you have made the bar so low to get to your heart and to get to your womb. The bar has been so low. You have absolutely no idea what this Dusty is made of. You don't know what he can do. You don't know how he's going to perform under pressure. God forbid you want to go on maternity leave and the checks ain't hitting the way they need to. What you going to do about that mortgage and them car payments and your payroll, everybody that's on your payroll, all the staff and all the support people? How are all these people going to be paid when you're on maternity leave? Because Darius is going to be looking at you, dumbfounded and confused, waiting on you to figure it out. And that is incredibly frustrating as a woman when you are partnered with someone who is incapable and incompetent in life. It is incredibly frustrating. And you will get to find out when you get there, when the rubber meets the road and it's time to be a real adult, it's time to be a parent. You're going to find out. You're going to find out. Doing this dusty ghetto stuff. Anyway, did Ice Cube give Keke Palmer dating advice? I hope not. If he did, I hope you didn't listen. During during an October 2021 episode of Celebrity Game Face, the Foodtastic host shared the story with Kevin Hart and Monica Denise. Palmer and Ice Cube had worked together in 2000 and 2008's The Long Shots. The famous rapper reportedly pulled the then 12-year-old actress aside and said that he understood she was growing up and wanted to make something clear. The way these men see you isn't always how you see yourself, the NWA member advised. That wasn't the last time Kiki and Straight Outta Compton rapper would work together, both in the 2004 comedy Barbershop 2. I'm just trying to see, how is this advice? The way these men see you isn't always how you see yourself. Okay, I mean, I guess that's some type of a statement, but I just don't see how that's advice. Can I blow this up? This is from her Instagram. So this is her with the struggle bandit. Living her life. Yeah, these are very retro pictures. We used to have pictures like this when I was in high school. We used to go to the mall and take pictures like this. So, um, yeah, I'm just getting struggle. I'm getting struggle love. All right. Did Kiki and Palmer, did Keke Palmer and Darius Jackson break up? Rumors swirled that the duo ended their relationship in March 2022 when they unfollowed each other on Instagram and Palmer removed the photos of Jackson on her IG page. I wonder if that's when she got pregnant. I'll have to do the math when she has the baby. I want to backtrack and see exactly when she conceived. I wouldn't be surprised if this breakup rumor happened around the time she got pregnant. He probably didn't react the way she wanted him to, and so she took him off her IG. But he weaseled his once he realized that his bag was gone, he weaseled his way right back into her good graces. All right, continuing in the article. That same month, Jackson stated on an Instagram story that if you are serious about growth, be serious about accountability. If you're serious about abundance, be serious about gratitude. If you're serious about intimacy, be serious about vulnerability. If you're serious about discipline, be serious about delayed gratification. Yeah, I could sort of read between the line of this mush mouth jargon. Blah blah blah. Struggle bandits always tell women to be accountable, even though they're not, and gratitude probably for whatever little pittance he was trying to contribute to the relationship, vulnerability because they want you to be vulnerable, of course, and delayed gratification probably because he ain't got shit and he wants her to be patient while he's pretending to try to acquire things when he's probably really not. Palmer has romantically been linked to Dutch rapper Stein, who is half the music duo of May 7. The pair were first spotted in December 2000. Okay, I'm gonna skip that. The Nope star has also been linked to rapper Meek Mill and Brotherly Love co-star Quincy Brown. So that's what I'm telling you. Like Meek Mill is trash. Trey Songz is trash. And I think some of her trauma has come with hanging out with trashy people. And I think that her wanting to get away from male celebrities is really her wanting to get away from black male celebrities. And so she thinks that a black male help or a black male support person or a black male, unemployed guy is going to be a good choice. She didn't listen to what Jill Scott went through. She doesn't care what Mary J. Blige went through. She doesn't care what Wendy Williams has gone through. She has put her head in the sand, doesn't want to hear it, see no evil, hear no evil. I don't want to be involved. You know what I mean? The Yellow Light singer also turned down Mike Johnson when the former Bachelorette contestant publicly asked her out in 2019 on her show, and she said she felt ambushed. I didn't see that clip. Is that everything? This thing has so many freaking ads. Yeah. So that's really what I took from the article, and that's why I was like, oh no, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go live on this. Uh, it's the same on page 6 where they're kind of talking about everything that she has accomplished. And, they refer to him as, oh, oops. Mm, Let me get off of that. I don't want a copyright strike. Let me see here. Yeah, just look at this title though. Keke Palmer is pregnant and expecting her first child with boyfriend Darius Jackson. You know what I mean? Like it just feels very icky. Like really, Keke? Now listen, I know that marriage is not for everybody and it's not the end all, it's not the only way, although it's a tried and true way to build wealth. It doesn't have to be the only way. But the sad part about this is that he does not have a career. He does not have any accomplishments. He does not have an extensive resume. He can't buy you a mansion and move you into it. He can't, you know, leave assets to you should, God forbid, something happen to him. So it's not just the obsession with marriage. That's not the point that, oh, you're living in sin or shacking up. No, I'm not even on that. I'm not on that. But I'm talking about the logistics of life and I'm talking about building wealth. Like I'm sure that Kiki has more money than her parents. I'm sure that they set her up to be, in the position that she's in. And then she has an opportunity to set her children up in a better situation than what she had. But in order to do that, you have to be strategic about your partner. You have to be strategic about your partner. Um, yeah, I think that this article uh, goes over a lot of the things that was in the other article. But those quotes just really stood out to me when he was talking about bringing stuff to the table and her supporting him at his lowest moments. I kind of knew she was a pick me from this. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'll play you the audio though. Let me get the audio pulled up so that you can see what I'm talking about. Um, okay, Kiki Palmer goes crazy. Goes stir crazy. All right. Do y'all remember this? Am I alone in thinking that this was really gross? This was just so, ugh. It's just gross. Like, girl, you're doing too much. You're just doing too much. I'm gonna let you hear the audio. Okay, so that's pick me behavior. Okay, I mean, Kiki told us everything that we need to know about her. Like, girl, you just doing too much. You are doing too much. No, ma'am. Have a seat, ma'am. No, ma'am. You will not. No, ma'am. I mean, it was just like if you were confused on if Kiki is a pick me, that should have told you everything you need to know. Seriously. That should tell you everything that you need to know. Seriously. Like I just, but what do y'all think about this situation? Um, am I being too harsh? Am I being too cruel? Do you have additional thoughts? Do you have information that I missed or I skipped somehow? Do let me know. I already dropped a link if anybody wants to come up and share their thoughts about this situation. You're welcome to. And while y'all are finding the link, I'm going to uh, I'm going to catch up on the comments. Um, I'm going to catch up on the comments here. Okay, so Josie was helping me out and said that it was Tia Mari who married down. Okay, there was a comment on my community post about the optics of this whole boyfriend situation. And the comment was something along the lines of like, well, hopefully he'll step up and marry her. The sad thing about the situation is that marriage will not redeem this situation. Marriage is not the answer in this situation. Marriage means that Kiki will be paying alimony to him. Okay? Look at Jennifer Hudson fighting for her kid and paying alimony and child support. Who else is paying child support? Uh, is it Jill Scott paying child support? Some other woman's paying child support to the man. I think Britney Spears pays child support. So marriage will not redeem this situation. Marriage is not necessarily the answer. And in the greater scheme of Black women in general, who sort of select from a certain pool of men, marriage is not the answer for them as either. Marriage is not the answer because marriage is not the problem. Marriage or not marriage is not the problem. Marrying a struggle bandit does not make him a great man. You understand? It doesn't. He still is who he is. The only thing after that is that now he has access to your finances. And when he leaves you, he can file for divorce. If he goes out and has a baby on you, how humiliating is that? If he goes out and has a baby on you and you have to pay him to raise his child with his new woman or female, like how soul crushing would that be? Um, Josie says, I don't think you sound like a downer. We've seen situations like this end poorly time and time again. This is just the reality. Yeah, yeah. Um, Lori is being very strategic and smart. Yeah, she is. She's very strategic. She's very smart. She's taking her time because I understand like Kiki and most young women like you're going to play around with dusties, right? You're going to play around with dusties, you're going to have fun, you're going to do all the things, but there's a time and a place for the dusty situation. And like I said earlier in the video, I think that Kiki's just getting to that point. She's in her late 20s, about to enter into being 30. She just has this like a real strong sense of baby fever. And she has baby fever, but she's not in a situation conducive to family building. You see what I'm saying? She's not in a situation conducive to solid family building. She's just not. And that herein lies the problem. Kiki was on a Steve Harvey show once. He set her up with what we call a high value man. She said that she dated millionaires before and that they don't always treat you right. Oh, yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. Yeah, Kiki sounds like the collective of Black women. Honestly, she does. She acts like the collective of Black women, just like I've done a video, maybe about Kanye West, and I say that he is like black male pathology personified. Um, Kiki is the collective of Black women. Okay, that narrative of, "Oh, if I get with a wealthy man, he's gonna treat me bad." That mantra, that mantra that Black women love to spew. It's so untrue. But they've chosen to believe what struggle bandits say. And so they just repeat those same talking points. They repeat that same mythology. And again, I think that Kiki is basing it off of Black male celebrities. I think that's what she's kind of her view of men, right? Because she hasn't. That's what she did. That's what she's been dealing with a lot. That's what she's been dealing with a lot. Um, okay, have fun on your date, sis. Hit me up and let me know how it goes. I hope that you have fun on your date. Mocha Mommy says this looks like the 1990s club. Yeah, yeah, I love those. I love those photos. Um, okay, Kiki had Chris Evans, CP in America, publicly hollering at her. Even if things didn't work with him, she could have gotten a top tier Brad. Instead, she let a ninja knock her up. Yeah, I know. It's like, girl, have your fun, but walk away from the situation free and clear. You understand? Walk away from the situation free and clear. Lori does not have a trail of kids from every guy she has dated. She does not have a trail of kids following her, like, the little duck that crossed the street and you got all the little things following you. Lori does not have a trail of children following behind her. She doesn't. Kiki could have done the same thing. There's no reason why not. She's beautiful. She's gorgeous. She has an amazing figure. She's so charismatic. She's a great actress. She's a great entertainer. She's a great businesswoman. There's no reason why she should not be dating the way Lori dates. There's just no reason why not. Why are you going through the drive-through and Lori's getting flown out on yachts? Flown out to yacht shows and whatnot, and in Monaco and all these places. Why are you at the drive-in? Why? Why are you fraternizing with the help? Why can't you learn from your elders? Why? Mary has shown you the way. Jill Scott has shown you the way. Whitney Williams has shown you the way. Do you think, I don't know. I think that women have this like this schism and thought pattern that they think that their pee is different. They think that they're different. They think that well, mine is the better. I'm gonna change him, and he's gonna be a great man. We're gonna build together. I'm the one. I'm the one that's gonna change him. I'm the one that's gonna make it better. And it's like every time you're gonna realize, no, you got the same Black man. You got the same one. No, it's not that there's anything special about you. Yes, you are special. Everybody's special in their own unique way. But your specialness will not transform him into an accomplished man and a decent father. Your specialness doesn't have the power to do that. So you have to find a man that's already proven himself to be successful and proven himself to have the qualities of being a good father. Not and I think a lot of it, let me see if I had a picture. I think a lot of it is physical attraction that she has for this bandit. I really think that that's the problem. Um, I was trying to I know I had a picture pulled up earlier, but I think I lost it. I don't know where it is. Well, there's a picture for sure on the thumbnail. Let me see if I can find one real quick. Because I think that the major um I think that the major draw for her for him is physical. He is a fitness trainer, so I'm certain he's ripped, right? I'm certain he is muscular. He's tall. He's tall and he's muscular. And I have talked about from the very inception of this channel, I have talked about Um, Not getting caught up in looks of a male. I've talked about that. I've talked about how dangerous it is to make your lifetime decisions off of looks, and because you're hot in the pants. Let me share this picture. So I think that this is the primary thing. Look, I think that it's physical. I think that she's attracted. Look, because he could kind of favor Michael Ealy a little bit. I think she has a type. I think she has a type, and I think she's physically attracted to this Joker. And that's it. She should have just had fun and left his ass at the club. Okay? And went out and found a real man. It's 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 not wise to base your lifetime decisions on physicality. I'm kind of speaking from experience. And this is like I'm not proud of this, but I do feel like my child's father, he's like very tall and very attractive. And I think I myself was uh, you know, caught up in that. And by the time I unraveled all of the deficits, it was too late. I was already pregnant. I was around Kiki's age, somewhere around that age too. I'm telling you, that age is like danger zone. Not danger zone the way the manosphere says, but it's danger zone in terms of having baby fever, having your ovaries think for you, and not having dominion over your sexual energy. That is the danger zone. Entering into baby fever without a proper strategy. Um, if you really play your cards right, you can set up a good relationship before baby fever kicks in, around maybe mid 20s. You could set up something that could lead to a great marriage down the line, maybe in a few years, if you find a, if you date well in your mid 20s, right? If you date well in your mid 20s, by the time you're ready to have baby fever, you will have already been married or partnered long term. You don't want to enter into baby fever hot in the pants and playing around with struggle bandits. That's definitely what you don't want to do. I'm speaking from experience, I'm speaking from observation, and I think that we've all collectively seen these things. It's not wise, and it's like once you make a decision um, that is not wise, you have to wake up quickly and you have to turn your life around. You have to go in the right direction. Just because you make one bad mistake doesn't mean that you cannot redeem yourself. It does not mean that you cannot course correct. It does not mean that you cannot get better. But the first thing is accepting. Like you have to sit down and accept everything that happened and why it happened, and the thought process behind why you ended up the way how you ended up where you ended up. And you have to scrutinize yourself, not to beat yourself up, because that doesn't help anybody. Beating yourself up and feeling sorry for yourself and feeling worthless, and that doesn't help anyone. That serves no one, and especially doesn't serve you. But scrutinizing in the way of challenging those thought patterns, challenging, why am I willing to go to a drive-through? Why am I willing to do that? Why don't I feel like I am entitled to wonderful date experiences? Why do I feel obligated to date down? Why do I feel like I have to bring something to the table? These are questions that perhaps one day, maybe, possibly, Kiki will wrestle with these questions down the line. There's so many people that think that they're having fun. Erica Mena, welcome to the Single Moms Club. Sin Santana, welcome to the Single Moms Club. Amber Rose, welcome to the Single Moms Club because that's just what it is. Okay? That's how it's going to be. Welcome. Um and I'll probably be welcoming Kiki soon. Unfortunately, I promise you I I wanted such great things for this young lady. I really did. And when she was on the Tamron Hall show saying she was dating someone industry adjacent, I'm telling y'all, I was hoping that she was talking about a producer. All right, I'm going back to the comments. How could I get off of this? Okay, stop screen. All right. Um, Let me see here. Okay. Jordan Peele's movie has a wide appeal for industry investors and businessmen. She should have gone behind the scenes route. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's just so many people in entertainment. Um, Hold on, let me see what my little one wants. Hold on, y'all. Okay, y'all. Side note, my baby, she wants to make a little craft, and she told me she read a book that we got from the library yesterday, and she's about to read it again. All right, now back to what I was saying. Okay, so Josie is helping me out when I was wondering which was the black celebrity that's paying child support. It's Sherry Shepherd. Sherry Shepherd is paying child support. So all these black women celebrities continue to marry down, continue to look foolish. They continue to look foolish. Eve said, "Not today, not Satan is a lie." She got the hell up out of there. Serena said, "Not today, Satan, you are a lie." And she went out of there. And it's like, look at the character of who she was dealing with. Like, ew, Drake is such a oh, douchebag comes to my mind, but it's just like, ew, you know? I mean, that would literally send you running away, having to deal with that lack of character and just ew. Sorry, I'm not more verbose today, but ew. Kiki has always been too extra. She has a thing for light skinned guys too. Yeah, exactly, Mocha Mommy. I think she has a type. And I think that her type is very physical. I don't think she has a type when it comes to character. A type when it comes to character, a type when it comes to finances, a type when it comes to treatment. Kiki is very focused on the physical. And being focused on the physical is a very masculine trait. And I'm not trying to masculinize her, but I mean that in this aggressive pursuing, I want a bad bitch, like Rihanna, like got her bad bitch, that is very masculine energy. Feminine women look for an opportunity to create a queendom. Okay. She's looking for the man who can provide the resources and the lifestyle that will allow her femininity to flourish. Feminine women have options. Feminine women can go back to school if they want, they can get another degree, they can write a book, they can go on sabbatical, they can travel the world, they could go hang out with their mama all day, they can go shopping, they can go get a career, they can do an internship, they can do a fellowship. Feminine women have options. feminine women are not workhorses that have to go grind the pavement to pay the bills. So, because feminine women have options, feminine women look for a partner that will give them options, especially during the childbearing years. If you have listened to other videos, I have drilled this point home at like exhaustion, damn near. I continue to drive this point home. When you are a woman entering into or still in your childbearing years, you have to partner with someone who will give you options. It is a life or death choice. It's a life or death decision. When you're talking about your physical and your mental well being, we're talking about postpartum depression. Look at some of these women who have been put through the ringer by these guys and they're stressed the F out. What was the young lady? I think she offed herself and the kids or something like that not long ago. I think it was a biracial woman that was with the struggle bandit and she was just going crazy with these children. I think she had like an infant and a toddler or something like that. And she took herself out due to stress because she couldn't take maternity leave. She can't hire a nanny. She can't be in a safe environment. I mean, being in an unsafe environment with your children, having to work, not having enough resources, it creates so much stress and heartache. I could go into it, but maybe I'll talk about that another day. It is extremely stressful. That's why it's a life or death decision in your childbearing years to pick a man that can afford you options so that you can follow your body. If you're ready to go back to work, then go. But not every woman is, you see. Some women need 12 weeks of leave. Some women need to take 6 months off. Some women need to take 3 years off. Every woman is different. You won't know what you need until you cross the threshold of motherhood. You won't know what you need until you cross the threshold of motherhood. When you are with a man who can provide for you, who can provide a home and take care of the necessities for you and provide a lifestyle, you have options to follow your body, follow your birthing experience. Who knows? Are you going to, who knows how it's going to go? Who knows if you're going to have postpartum depression or some type of anxiety or some mood disorder? Who knows? But a lot of that stuff um, is exacerbated by loneliness and by scarcity, by anxiety about your future, not knowing how you're going to feed your children, not knowing how the rent's going to get paid next month. When you're a new mother, that's the last thing that you should be thinking about. So, going through this thought process is not about hating children or being anti-child or, um, you know, marriage obsessed. It's dealing with the actual logistics and the facts of the matter and knowing what it takes to recuperate after childbirth and to find yourself as a mother because you are too born again when you give birth. You are not your old self anymore. Your body looks different. Your bones have shifted. Some people's feet get bigger. I mean, all kinds of changes happen. Okay. Your brain change, everything changes. You are literally a new person. And who knows how that's going to settle in. So to be alone or to be with an inadequate partner is very stressful, extremely stressful. Oh, my only mod left. Let me see if I can get this bot out of here. Or I don't know if y'all might not be able to see the bot on your end. Oh, Mocha Mommy got rid of them. Thank you. Um, Let me block this person. Okay, got him out of here. Okay, He moved into her house. Yep. Okay. Just say congratulations in public, but don't frown or judge when this is your friend. Yeah, I think that's important, Mocha Mommy. Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah, this is hard. I have an acquaintance of mine. She had her first one, and it was a disaster. And I think I'd already had my daughter, so I was trying to kind of help her as much as I could and kind of help her make sense of what was happening to her. Um, and really hoping that she would uh, just do better. There was a guy who I told her the first day I ever saw this guy. This was before I had my daughter. I saw this guy at a community event, and I was with two other friends. I said, "That's a pimp." I said, "He's a pimp." I just knew. I can feel pimp energy when I know it. And I said, "Yeah, that guy's a pimp." She and I told her, she's younger than me. I told her, I said, "Stay away from him. Stay away from him. Stay away from him." She went and got with him anyway. Anyway, and he took her through the ringer. After she left him, she got pregnant with another one, and from pillar to post, from pillar to post. And then it seemed like I saw her posting online. It seemed like she was posting like the types of content that help me understand, like maybe she has opened her eyes. She's got her two kids. Okay, now it's time to kind of move in a different direction. You've made your mistakes. Like, okay, get your kids, like better your life. But I received a baby shower invitation. I think the baby shower was last month. I didn't go. My thing is this: if I'm your friend, if I am your friend, I should have been known you was pregnant. Okay. I should have been known that you was pregnant. You should have called me and be like, "Hey girl, um, guess what? I'm pregnant." And then we could have talked, and we could have just as a friend, if I'm your friend. But I feel like if you don't talk to me for like a year and a half and you just send me a baby shower invitation, I'm like, I don't feel like I'm your friend. I really just don't feel like I'm your friend. You just want me to go to your baby shower. Like, I don't like that. I don't like that. And if I see her, I'll tell her, like, girl, you should have told me. You should have been told me you was pregnant. You should have been told me that. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Why am I finding out that you're pregnant through a baby shower invitation? But anyway, this is the third one. So it makes me believe, like, I don't know what it is that you need to learn. I just don't know. What I don't know why it's not sinking in. They have take like a struggle bandit will take you through the depths of hell. They will take you to the depths of hell with them. And I know for a fact that she has been through the depths of hell with struggle bandits. And I'm just wondering, why aren't you learning? Why aren't you why are you still here in this place in this way? But I don't know. That's neither here nor there. Kiki should have taken a page out of Gabby Sidibe's book and got an entertainment tech guy. Even if they break up, she is funding an investor in Cameo. Oh yeah, she's got equity. That's great if she got equity in that company. I thought that somebody told me that um Gabby Sidibe married down. I literally got kicked out of this group because we were talking like level up, like women who um leveled up after marriage. And I was like, well, Gabby leveled up after marriage. And they were like, oh, is she married down? I was like, I don't know if she actually married down. Hey, Mocha Mommy.
Hey there, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. I'm glad you're having this conversation.
Thank you. Please share your thoughts.
Well, it's interesting because um, she made the announcement on such a public platform, Saturday Night Live that has a lot of different types of viewers. So this is not like she said it to like a audience where she knows is aimed at just Black viewers, and people applauded, and I know she's been hearing the criticism because people still think she's a kid. But I made a dust-free December pledge to not talk about dusty situations. But what I wish she would have done is used the leverage from Nope to put her in a better social circle. And I understand wanting your family and your cousins and everyone else to make this come up with you. But that crossover appeal that she now has, she really is jeopardizing it. And it was funny because her monologue talked about, like, people be quiet about my pregnancy. I've got, liquor endorsements coming through. Like, you know what I mean? She was kind of joking about how she didn't want people to say anything because there are other business opportunities that are coming to her. And she just got trapped at the wrong time. And I feel sad in a way.
I feel sad too because it's like, dealing with your little sister and, I'm a lot older than her and it's just like you just want to shake them. You just want to shake them and be like, "Girl, wake up. Stop this. What are you doing? You're so much you can do so much more. You can do so much more. You can have so much more. Why not?" But I feel like we're saying these things, but I don't know if she feels that way about herself. I don't know.
Yeah. And it was funny because I was having a really interesting conversation with my daughter the other day because she wanted to get into the arts. And then she took a gap year to just do a lot of things. We live in Austin, it's an artistic city. And then she was talking about how prevalent drugs are and how this whole starving artist thing, it's not that appealing. Um, and she says that, kind of after doing some of the things like the Broadway in Austin and all these things, she's like, I think I just want to get into accounting and be around the people who patron the art. Because
Mhm.
if I do want to create art, at least I know the people who will pay for it. Because this whole starving artist thing is not something I want to do. And I don't really want to be around this drug addicted crowd. And I was really proud of her for making that decision. And I'm just thinking, like, going forward, maybe we should talk to Black women entertainers, well, okay, I guess we can't talk to them, but let young Black women know, like, hey, if you're interested in the arts, make sure you're focusing to the people on the business side. And with Gabby Sidibe's situation, same thing with Serena Williams' situation. If you're with these guys from these ethnic groups that have faced a genocide, I don't know if I can say that on your channel, that have faced uh, a mass extermination, they typically hide money. Like, people in the J community, people in the
Mhm.
Armenian community, they will never tell the government what they have ever because of what's happened to their people. So when people say that Gabby Sidibe married down, like, you don't know how much money that dude has on art paintings on his wall or in his mother's jewelry case in a safe deposit box, money he hid under the mattress. Like, that's just one thing that we also have to, like, let Black women know. Like, nobody's gonna put that stuff on paper. Like, the guy Jennifer Lawrence married, he got like acres and acres of land. He ain't gonna put that on paper. Like, no.
Yeah, I agree about that, and I think she married up. That was what I took from the situation with Gabby. I felt that she married up. I think that he has a wealth that's a little longer than what she has. Um, you know, some generational wealth, and I know she's comfortable, and I know. I guess I know wealth when I see it. I know she's comfortable, and I know that she does not have to work. Okay.
He's a New York Finkelstein. So he dropped the Stein, but he's a New York Finkel. But so that's money back from, like, before World War II. That's long, long, long money.
That
Like,
was my
that's long money.
that was my impression. I in my impression, I was like, she married up. And I don't know if these girls were I don't know if they just don't like Gabby. I don't know. I don't know what the situation was, but they said I was trolling them because I said that she married up and it was just a whole little stinker. And I was just like, you know what? Y'all can take this group and y'all can do whatever y'all want to do with it. If y'all say she didn't marry up, okay, I didn't know, but that was my impression of it, and that is was from my vantage point, that's what I saw. I saw her getting with someone who is quietly wealthy, and she ain't gotta work, okay? So, that is that. Selfish Love says Gabby's dude also has network wealth. Men with a large, successful network will never, ever not have it. Yeah, exactly. She says, I'm an accountant. Please let me know how I can be a resource. Okay, definitely reach out to well, y'all can talk. Y'all know y'all can talk. Y'all can get together. But I'm so happy. And what I was gonna say, Mocha Mommy, is that I know your daughters are too spoiled. I know your daughters are too spoiled to slum it out with those bums. Like I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like thanks to your husband, I just don't think that your girls, they might think it's cute, but there's just no way they can do it. There's just no way. They're too spoiled. And that's great. Like, isn't that how we want to raise our girls? We want to raise our girls to have so much, good treatment and be in such a great environment that being in a slummy environment or being treated poorly is intolerable to them. We want our girls to feel uncomfortable in dusty situations. We want our girls to feel like this is foreign to me. This feels uncomfortable to me. I want to go back to luxury. And I believe that if someone cannot provide what your husband has provided to those girls or more, they ain't going nowhere. Okay? They ain't going nowhere. They're not about to leave their daddy's house and go to a shack. They're just not about to do that. They're not about to leave their parents' house and go somewhere and slum. No, it has to be up. It has to be something that they are accustomed to. And I think that as Black women, that is the experience that we need to give our daughters. And that is what we have to drill in their heads. If I have a thought about certain things, I think to myself, uh, what would Marjorie do? What would Marjorie say? How would Marjorie, what would she teach her daughter? What did she teach her daughter to get her daughter to where she is like this? She get an allowance from her stepdaddy and her boyfriends. What did she teach her daughter how to navigate like this? And that's what I try to tell my daughter. That's how I try to raise my daughter. Side note, we were reading this book the other day, which I don't know. I have this book from like my old school Black Power days. I have this book about Marcus Garvey. It's a kid's book. And I hate that I should have gone through those books sooner because I think Marcus Garvey is a scammer, but we could talk about that another day. Anyway, I have this book, this children's book about Marcus Garvey, and we're reading the book, and I think it was about his first wife. I think that this story was about his first wife. So his first wife jumped in front of him to save him from uh somebody was shooting at him, and she threw herself in front of him. So as I'm reading this, I stopped. I was like, okay. I said, you know that that's stupid, right? I'm talking to my daughter, because we're having like story time, but I have to stop and I have to process what I just said. And I said, you know that's stupid, right? You know that you never do that. You know that. And I just went in and drilled it in her head. And she was like, yeah, I like Marcus Garvey, but his first wife was stupid for doing that. So I always take those moments to drill in her head certain things. She knows that men are supposed to provide for her. She knows that. She knows that because I've been drilling it in her head, and I will continue to do so. She knows that. Oh my gosh, she's going to be so beautiful. Oh my goodness. She's cute now. She's cute now. But she is going to be so beautiful. Oh my gosh, like it's going to be so cool to just see how she develops. Hey, fine womanhood, come up if you want to. Mocha Mommy says, "Sorry I dropped off, but Kiki's wellness but I wish Kiki wellness because the baby is already going to be here." Yeah, Mocha Mommy, I know, and I have a whole video called "The Children Are Already Here." I have a video called "The Children Are Already Here." I know it's hard. I know it's like it's super, super hard. Especially when you like someone and you just want them to do well, and you're just like, you didn't do what I wanted you to do, right? You took a path that I didn't want you to take. I wanted you to go down this path, but you went down this path. But here you are. I mean, you're still, beautiful, you're still lovable, you're still bubbly, you're still, you know, good representation in some aspects. And so, yeah, you really have to balance that criticism or that harshness, because it is what it is. I mean, the baby's coming. It is what it is. The baby is coming. If you want to come back up, Mocha Mama, you can. I think I pinned the link to the top or whatever. I think I pinned it. Um let's see. Um okay, yeah, that they hate overweight dark-skinned women got married. Yeah, it's like you're darned if you do, you're darned if you don't. And I think that that's a big thing that I want black women to know in 2023. Um you will never get the collective of black males to be in agreement with you. You cannot wait on them to be in agreement with you to do the things that you need to do. And the other aspect to that is you don't need them to be in agreement with you to do what you need to do. You don't need them. You don't need them to agree with you. You don't need them to co sign what you're saying. You don't need them to see the errors in their ways. You don't need them to have a realization. You don't need them to reform themselves. You can do what you have to do as a woman independent of that. Because trying to become in agreement with them will send you in a hamster wheel. On one hand, uh, you're stupid for getting pregnant. You should have chose better. You're dumb. Um, single mothers are evil and bad, and single women birth criminals. And the reason why all this criminality is happening is because of single mothers. That's on one side. And then on the other side, it's um, y- uh, Planned Parenthood is our Holocaust, and you know these black women are killing our babies, and oh my God, you don't want to have a black son. Oh no! So it's like that in and of itself is such a contradiction. You don't want the son, you won't stay and raise him, but you condemn women who won't have them. So in other words, it's such a clusterfuck that you cannot wait on them to move forward in what you need to do as a woman. You need to make your decision as a woman, as an individual, for the highest, your own personal highest and greatest good, first and foremost. You have to make your decision based on your highest and greatest good, and you have to move forward in that energy. You have to move forward in that energy and do what you need to do. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about the talking points. Don't worry about what they have going on. Don't worry about that. Get away from it, distance yourself, get into a safe zone. Get out of harm's way to lower your likelihood of encountering negative consequences from being around that energy. And just go forth and do what you have to do. It's never going to make sense, and you just have to be at peace with that. It's never going to make sense. Last night, we were talking about the cluster B spectrum and narcissism and malignant narcissism. But one trait about narcissist is confusion. Okay. Confusion is a tactic that they like for people to be confused. Um, and they don't care about continuity. It doesn't have to all flow. No, it can be contradictory. It doesn't matter. The idea is to maintain control. And so in any situation, I can make you the bad guy, right? In any situation, no matter what you do, I can make you the bad guy, right? If you have the sun, you're the bad guy because you're stupid. You should have chose better. You're dumb. You sleeping with the wrong man. You should have da 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 da. You're raising a criminal. Da 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 da. And the same person in the same situation be like, yeah, I'm pregnant and I'm gonna go ahead and terminate this pregnancy or whatever. Oh, you're bad. You're evil. What about the children? What about the black race? And they want to put the black race on your shoulders. And we talked about this a long time ago on the channel. It's too hard. It's too burdensome. It's too burdensome. It weighs black women down when black culture continuously puts the fate of the culture on black women's back alone. That we have to be the ones to carry everything through. Where was this same energy when you have these struggle bandits? They're making babies all over the world, all these biracial children. Where was those same people who care about the black race? Where were they and where are they now? Right? So they're nowhere to be found, and it's fine because it's so disingenuous. It's not authentic. They don't mean it, right? They don't mean it. Those tactics are not sincere, that they actually care about the community. It's only to manipulate and control you and to keep you as a resource, to keep you as a resource that they can leech and feed off of, and to just be their backup when everyone all fail, when all goes wrong, that they can go sleep on your couch and like leech off of you. One of my good friends, the one I was telling you about, uh, the one who is dating the millionaire, she has 3 children, and the father of the youngest two wanted to stay with her. He was like, I'm living in a car. I'm living in a car. And what kind of baby mama are you that you won't let me live with you? And it's like, oh my gosh, the dust of it all. The dust of it all. But yeah, that's how they see us. They see us as a resource and they feel entitled to our resources. And the crazy thing about it is, on one hand, they say, I don't care about your degree. I don't care about your accomplishments. I don't care about your money. And that same exact person will be holding their hand out. Excuse me. That exact same person will be holding their hand out on payday. Oh, baby, I want some Jordans. I want some rims for my car. I want a sound system. I want to do this. I want to do that. I don't have my half of the rent. Can you cover the whole rent this month? That same person. So none of the arguments like congruent. None of them make sense. They're all just just a bowl of confusion. So that's why when we become strategic, we cannot take any of that into account. We just can't. It's not real. It's all smoke and mirrors, and it's just all to create confusion and lower your self esteem, make you feel like you have no options when you have all the options in the world. You can go do whatever you want, be whoever you want to be, make it all happen. Why not? There's so many living examples of that. There are so many living examples of that. We have lots of options. And like I was saying earlier, feminine women look for men who can afford them more options. Okay. So, yeah, I think I have pretty much expressed everything that I want to express about this situation. Um, I guess the key takeaways that I would want young women to know is that don't base your partner solely on looks. That is, put that on the very back burner. Um, marry up, marry into a situation or partner in a situation that can afford you options, and comfort and security. Someone that has assets. What about his heart? Well, his heart can't pay the bills, baby. His heart can't pay the bills. Put yourself in Tia's shoes. that you pick somebody up off the bus stop, dusted them off, cleaned them up, put them in a nice neighborhood, put them around a class of people that they would have never had access to without you, introduce them to all your contacts, and they level up on you and leave. Imagine. Put yourself in those shoes. That helps a lot. Well, he would never, but we're in love. Girl, trust me, it wears off. It wears off. Um, that infatuation stage is the real deal. I get it, but it wears off. It wears off. And then you're left with, what are you left with? What is the person made of? What is the substance of it all when um, the infatuation wears off and you're a new mother, you have a crying infant, you have all these hormones racing through your body, all these changes, and it's different. It gets very different. There's a part of you that feels very fulfilled in being a mother, um, especially if that's what you desire. It's a part of you that feels very fulfilled, and so in love with your child and all of the good things. But when you turn around and look at your partner's incompetence, it's a real sobering. It's a real. I can't. I can't explain it. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but it's difficult to handle when you have an incompetent partner and you're supposed to be enjoying, the best moments of your life. Look at Erica Mena. Look at her. Just look at her. Supposed to be enjoying, being a new mom, and she stressed the F out. Was it She stressed the F out. She has to look at her child's father on Instagram or TikTok or whatever at a party while she's waking up and feeding those kids, paying all the bills, taking care of her children with no help from their father. And he's popping bottles somewhere. So some women have to learn by going through it themselves, and the wise ones of you will learn from women ahead of you and the women who are taking their time to try to show you the way, you know. So, um, yeah, typically successful men have higher degree of integrity. How do you think they do well with customers and colleagues? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Kiki has options. She will just have to move different. Yeah, of course. Yeah, because you can have a child. It's not the end of your life. It's not the end of the world. Even when the child comes into the world not under the best circumstances or not under ideal circumstances or whatever, it's not the end of your world. And you can still do whatever you want. Make your life better. Choose better. Do whatever you want. You can still do it. It's harder, it's harder with a child. It literally is. And especially even when it comes to finances, because even if you have a lot of money, I mean, I'm going to imagine she's probably going to need security and a nanny. That can become expensive. That kind of stuff can become very expensive. Private school, you know, private school, nanny, tutors, and all of that, it gets very expensive. So even if you're wealthy, having a partner that cannot contribute financially, it still hurts. You know what I mean? It's still it's hard. It's still a burden to have to shoulder on your own. Even if you have money, imagine, because the money that you're spending today, you could be putting that money up for your child. You could be putting that money up somewhere for them, but instead you're spending the money on uh, everyday expenses because you don't have a partner that can kick up and really bring those finances to the table. Hi, fine womanhood. How are you?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hey, I just caught on not too long ago. Excuse my voice. I actually woke up not too long ago too, and I hopped on YouTube and saw your live, so I had to come on. And you're talking about Keke Palmer, and oh my gosh, wow! I'm just so surprised. First of all, I'm happy for her. Um, I think motherhood is amazing, but I'm just so surprised that she did it this way. Like I was really hoping that she would, marry. And the great thing is it's actually all over these news outlets. Like typically CNN does not report when a young black woman gets pregnant. That's something like the Shade Room would post. But CNN even posted this. So that does show that I think, Keke Palmer does have a very a really good reputation, and people were not expecting her to get pregnant this way with the guy. I didn't even know she was dating someone. But he's a very cute, good looking guy. I'm sure they have a great relationship. I really do hope, though, that with the encouragement, because she is getting a lot more encouragement than criticism publicly, I hope that that kind of inspires him to want to create a family and want to, propose to her. I think, she's probably looking at her age too. I believe she's in her late 20s. And so she wanted to have a baby. And I think a few years ago, she came out and said that she has
Mhm.
PCOS.
Mhm.
So
I
maybe
didn't. I didn't know that.
yeah, she kind of went viral about it. She talked about her acne, and I know that that's one of the symptoms. PCOS in women causes some acne, causes weight issues and stuff like that. So she went viral about that, and maybe that was in her mind too, that she doesn't know when she's going to be able to conceive again, or if she can. She's already in her late 20s, and she came out and had this condition. So I think her having this baby and wanting to keep the child. Um, she thought that was something that she wanted to do for, you know, excuse me, I just wake up and my thoughts are all over the place. But, I think those factors played into why she wanted to do things this way, or just kind of take this opportunity. She found out she was pregnant and she just took it instead of wanting to change it in another way. Um, but I'm sad that she's not married.
Well,
But
fine
I hope it
womanhood.
happens
But
someday
fine
for her.
womanhood. If she marries him, she'll be paying him alimony and possibly child support.
She will, yeah. I think in the state of California, I think after 10 years of marriage, or either after 10 or before, because I live in California, it's either after 10 years or I'm pretty sure it's after 10 years you have to pay alimony if you make more than your spouse in the state of California. I think that's where her and her man are at. Um, if you divorce before 10 years, I don't think alimony counts unless it's in your prenup or something. And I don't even know how that will affect if kids are involved. But I know if kids are involved in the state of California, that's a whole nother deal. She'll probably, I don't know, that'll be a whole nother thing. Um, so I don't know. I still hope that I hope they stay together. Whoever this guy she's with, they look happy. He's not a famous guy, I believe. So
He's a personal
is
trainer.
he?
He's a fitness trainer.
Oh, really?
Yes, girl.
Is that how she met him? She
She
was
met him. His brother is an actor. And so she met him at a party
oh,
that he was his brother's plus one.
oh at a party. Oh,
Mhm.
okay. Living in LA, right?
He has no career.
And they met in LA?
I'm not sure what they said. It was a party. Issa Rae and Diddy had a party Memorial Day. I don't know where the party was. I don't know if it was in Miami, California. I don't know. I don't know where the party was.
Oh, I mean, I just ask because yeah, LA is like that. Like LA is like you can know someone and be a plus one. And yeah, Diddy is there. Like last time I went to LA, I met the DJ for Beyonce and Jay-Z. Like it's so easy to like meet people and get mixed up. So that's why I didn't know he was a personal trainer, but I'm not surprised, especially with Keke Palmer. Like her personality just seems like she can meet and get along with just about anybody, no matter like your profession, because she's so bubbly and she's so, you know, she just seems like that type of girl. Instead of some celebrities in LA, like you they won't mix with you that way if you don't have some kind of a if you're not in the industry. But Keke Palmer kind of seems like that girl where she'll be friends with anybody, especially like guys. So I definitely agree with like what you were saying earlier, and don't get with the guy with looks. I kind of feel like that's her main thing with this guy. He's a cute guy. They got along well, and she decided to be with him. And
Would
I
have been
don't.
good for
Hmm?
fun, but I'm not convinced that this is viable. Hi, Mango Peel. How are you doing?
Hi. Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear
Yeah,
you.
I can hear you.
Okay. I guess there's just like a few things that I wanted to say about this situation. Well, number one is I think a part of this is that, and this is something I had to come to terms with about myself too, like when I started this journey. Um, our community does a really good job at making you feel like if you if you dare to want more or to expand like your network outside of your social circle, or even if you want to date someone who isn't a part of our community, right? the the decades of like fear and shame, and like as if you are doing something disastrous, and like as if you're shaming your whole family tree, and that fear of the backlash and the criticism, it's it can be like debilitating for a lot of black women, like to overcome that fear of, you want so badly for, and even other black women do it to you too, like you want so badly for people to just be happy for you, and to like to tell you, hey, like you deserve whatever it is that you want, like you're good enough, and like the constant beating down of our self-esteem, like, well, you can't do that because your skin is too dark, your hair is too this, your weight is too this, you don't look like this, you don't come from this, you're not used to this, you wouldn't understand this, you're not rich enough for this, no one would accept you, no one wants to be your friend, no one wants to network with you, no one wants to get to know you because you're black, because you're a woman. Like constantly hearing that, it's so it takes a long time to work past that. And I think sometimes when I see some of these successful black women who are famous and who have access to so many different types of people, I think internally I wonder if they ever got past that, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I do too. We, I brought up that question earlier. I think when Mocha Mommy was up, I was like, I feel these things about her. This is what I see, but I wonder how does she feel about herself?
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes like before, like, okay, like when I started therapy a few years ago, you're not even conscious of the fact that this is how you feel about yourself, right? And a lot of the times the men in our community, they project these things onto us, right? Like, so it's not that, to begin with, like, we never felt that way. It was that they projected these feelings about themselves onto us. I remember being a little girl, and I always was like, my parents always made sure that I felt that I was beautiful, that I was smart, that I was talented, that I could do anything. And it wasn't until I got around the males, little boys in our community, that I started to hear, "You're ugly.
Yeah,
You're not worth it. You're stupid." Like I didn't realize anything was wrong with me until then, and this starts very, very young. And when that happened, it was like suddenly, like I was plagued by insecurities, and it carried like so far into adult. I know this sounds kind of like, this can sound very dramatic to people who aren't from our community and who don't understand, but this is like a deep rooted thing. And even when we're successful, we still have this feeling like, well, even though you're here, you still don't deserve these people. You need to humble yourself. You need to
Yeah.
help everyone else. You're not smart enough. Nobody wants to get to know you. You're too black. You're too, like, there's always this idea that there's something that we need to fix. And once you finally tune these people out, like what Mocha Mommy has been saying, when you tune these people out and really go out and live your best life, you will realize most people, like, most people are pretty kind. Most people are not going to judge you. Most people want to say hi. Most people are friendly. Most people have manners. Like, there's of course, there's plenty of rude people, but for the most part, no one's going to look at you and point at you in the crowd and say, "Why are you here?" You know, there's that like tiny voice that's like, someone's going to point me out and think that I shouldn't be here, and they're going to snicker. Like, it can be, it's different for everyone. But this starts young, and it takes a long time to get through this. And I think, just as like famous black women, a lot of them might not ever work through this, and that's what leads them to this place. Like with I forgot, one of the Mari sisters, I forgot which one it was, who picked the guy up at the bus stop, like you were
Tia.
saying, Tia.
Yeah.
Like, something in her told her that, well, you're good. This is what you are good enough for this. This is
And
what
and,
you
and you know
get.
what I feel like? I feel like we I feel like we force our fantasy on inadequate people because we think that we can will it into existence. We think that we could feel so strongly that I want this strong black family. I want this family unit. I want black love. I have this fantasy. This is who I'm naturally attracted to, and I want this to work.
Yeah,
And so we project these qualities on the person that literally they're not there.
exactly.
Literally,
It's
they're
so
not
true.
there. But you're living in your own fantasy. You have your own rose-colored glasses on, and it's all fun and games when you're in the infatuation mode. But when you get into the real family logistics mode, things change. And I think the black women who are the most successful, oftentimes in those types of relationships, are the ones who have the capacity to endure the most pain, who have the capacity to endure the most betrayal, who don't mind um, carrying the weight of the family, and who put on charades in the outside public to pretend that everything is okay. And if you look behind the curtain, she's spinning crazy. I mean, and I have family members like this. Um, I I have been calling her a married single woman long before YouTubers had been doing that because that's what I observed her doing. And I'm a single woman and I have more support from the men in my life than you do and you're married. You know?
Yeah, and that's a problem. That's a huge problem, and that's something that I'm very sick of seeing it. I think it's disgusting. And a lot of it is like, one thing, as I've been watching your videos over the past year or so, like, something that you talked about is the shared fantasy, right? And
Yeah.
a lot of it with these men is, it's a fantasy. Like, it's like
Yes.
they're banking on you holding out hope that one day they'll change. One day, if you just hold on for a little longer, things will be different. If you just hold on for a little longer, they'll get it together. If you just hold on for a little longer, they'll take care of you. They'll be the family person you want them to be. They'll be a good father. They'll be a provider. They'll get their stuff together. They'll find a career. They'll just keep holding on, just keep holding on. And that is what they're banking on black women doing. And you
And
have
that,
to
yeah.
plug yourself. You have to
And
unplug yourself from the
yeah,
matrix.
and that's why, they don't appreciate black women so much, because a lot of black women are willing to wait for them, like, yeah, like Afro Syndrome, like you said, projecting these qualities on men who in reality don't have them, will never meet them. And that's why they get online and can talk crap, because they're like, you're not going anywhere, you're going to wait for us, you're going to try to see if the gender war ends and all this other stuff. And meanwhile, there's a network of men, of other men, that are really about that life, that have those qualities, that are ready to be with so many black women. And It's sad. It's sad. I mean, as far as yeah, Tia and that bus driver husband she had, whatever his name was, that was horrible. When I first read that story, like before I even came, like I first read that story, I was like, oh my God, what the hell? Like, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I could see that for Keke Palmer, like kind of that comparison. Because when you're in a network around so many successful people, like in, Hollywood, all these producers, executives, and just all these business people that are involved in the back end in Hollywood, you have access to all those men as an actress as well. Not You don't just have access to actors. So there's
And
just so many.
actors' brothers. I mean,
Right. Oh God.
this guy lacks in accomplishments so much that they literally had to defer to his brother's accomplishments, but he has none.
And what I see that is common in Kiki and Tia's, right? That's the one that married the bus driver husband, Tia or Tamara. It was Tia, right?
Tia.
Yeah. What I see in common in both of them is that with their uh, choice and partner, like a common thing is that they're both successful women. So I think that there are some successful women who they don't look at any of those. Can he provide? Can he do this? Because
They
their
don't.
money is so, their own money is so solid that they don't even care about another guy's money. So yeah, she'll date the bus dude. She'll date the personal trainer. She'll date the the guy in the back prepping the food. Like she'll hit on the bartender at the exclusive club she's at or whatever. Like they don't care because they have their own money. And
And
yeah, yeah.
we were socialized to do that. I'm gonna bring Demir up, and while I'm doing that, I really I want to like this term gender war. I I don't know. It's like something that always boils it like grinds my gears when people bring that up because I feel like it reduces our grievances as Black women. I mean, the grievances that we have are life or death, right? We're talking about femicide, we're talking about domestic violence, we're talking about being able to have intact homes, we're talking about being able to provide a quality lifestyle for our children. We're talking about violence in the community, right? There's all these grievances that are very valid, and to reduce it down, right, to gender war, it takes the wind out of, it like takes the wind out of what we're trying to do. And like I see that on like certain shows, and I guess like radio shows don't have the time, right? Or talk shows, they don't have the time to get into the depth the way we do on podcasts and on YouTube. If we want to go in for 4 hours, we most certainly can go in for 4 hours, right? We're not constrained by time. So to just somebody be like, "Oh, the gender war. When do you think the gender war? Oh well," and then the struggle bandit. "Oh well, I just want to see the Black family together, and I hate that our sisters hate us." And it's like you're not listening. You're not listening. On this stream, I've been on here for an hour and 43 minutes. Okay, not one of us have said that we hate them, right? Or any of that. We're talking about real grievances, and we're talking about real possible solutions to avoid the pitfalls that have been going on and on over and over and over again, you know?
And yeah.
Yeah.
One before I head out, I have to finish my makeup and get ready. But like what you were just saying, they feel that you hate them because deep down, like they don't feel good about themselves. They don't. Like one of their things, like the reason why, a lot of the reason why they are so afraid to ask for help from other men, to just to learn, to get some guidance, to do what they need to do to get to the next step is because they they know that deep down they don't have it in them. They don't have it in them. They don't have the ambition. They don't have the drive, and they are deficient. And there's some ways that they are deficient, and they are deeply insecure about it. And because of that, they won't ever ask for help. And so they really need for Black women to come down to where they are, so that they don't have to be alone. And that's really hard. Like a lot of Black women don't understand that, it seems, but it's not us. It's them. And I just hope that in 2023 going forward that black women will just tune this out and just really just embrace the life that they want and know that there's whatever you want, you can get it. It's achievable. It's all achievable. And anyone who needs to beat you down to get you to believe something, they probably don't have your best interest in mind. And that's all I wanted to say. I hope you ladies have a beautiful Sunday.
Thank you. Have a great
Thank you.
Sunday. Definitely agree with you.
Bye.
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 Hi. Welcome to the stage. Did you wanna say anything about the topic?
Yes. So as far as dating down goes, okay, so I'm in my early 30s and I didn't realize that I was cute until like late 20s, and then with purity culture and having a few female family members really talk down to me throughout my formative years. um, I've been doing the work for the last 5 years in therapy and all that stuff, and I'm really just realizing the level that I'm at and how I've essentially dated down my entire dating life. So for the past, 10, 15 years. So when it comes to uh dating on our level, speaking for myself, like I was on a date with a guy last night. He was a gentleman, he paid for everything, but I realized, because at the end of the night, I didn't kiss him. I chose not to kiss on the first date. He gave me a hug and he told me I was pretty, and I realized that I literally could not say it back to him because that's genuinely not how I felt. I've had a pattern of dating guys who are very much like I because of my strange relationships with my father and stepfather. They're both in my life, but my mom was married hypogamously to my dad, and then she married more hypogamously to my stepdad. So just seeing that growing up, and then being talked down to about my body for the longest time, like having those body image issues. Like I said, I didn't realize how much of a catch I was. Like I know on paper I'm multilingual, college educated, been to like 20 countries. I'm a kind person, all these things, but I still didn't think that made me worthy. So I realized I've been tidying up kind of slowly, but I just want to encourage everybody out there who's like, well, he's a little bit better than the last guy, and I'm inching my way up. Yes, that's good. But especially for someone who's like me, who does want to do the whole marriage and kids thing, we don't need to take baby steps for everything. And I'm really still actively teaching myself to, like, on these dating apps, don't match with someone because they're okay. Because like the guy went on a date with last night, he is a great guy, but physically it's not there. He doesn't have to be a 10 out of 10 in the face if everything else is working. But I couldn't even, like, I didn't really want to kiss him, and I could not, out of my mouth, tell him he was attractive. So that's saying something. And there were other couples who went to like a go karts and more sort of place. Like they had a rage room, they had uh, axe throwing, all this stuff. So it was a very coupley environment for a Saturday night. And I was looking at other guys, like, um, not obviously like not being rude, but I was just thinking like, there are other people in the world who are interested in, monogamous commitment. So I think we definitely limit ourselves. I don't have any kids. I have been very careful with my womb about that. But I didn't even really find out about hypergamy until a year and a half ago. So, for anybody who's also like me, who kind of feels like we're playing catch up a bit because it wasn't modeled to us, this is just a reminder to, like I said, learn your worth because we don't always know it off the bat, and don't sell yourself short. Will I go out with this guy again? I don't know. We'll see. But even with the dating apps, the algorithms will show you, like, once I changed my setting to a suburb near where I live. I live in a nice area, but it's not quite as nice as the area closer to where my parents lived. So I put that as my location. And then as I started selecting better men, guess what? The apps were showing me even more men of higher quality. So those are things to keep in mind.
Wow, thank you
I'm
for
back. Thank you
sharing
for
that.
yeah, thanks for sharing and thanks for holding it down. Fine womanhood. I had to step away from and get my daughter situated with something. Um,
No, you're
but I
good.
caught the tail end of what you were saying. You're talking about the apps and kind of like the people that they suggest to you after you select certain types of guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've experienced that too on my end as well.
Yes, it's definitely. I know what I said was kind of like a a mini a bit of a soliloquy, but I hope some of what I said is has helped other women, especially not feel like you're alone, because there are a lot of us who are quietly, keeping our head down and doing the work and keeping our moves quiet and figuring it out.
Demure, I think that one of the someone in the chat box wants to know if you're dark skin.
Yes,
You don't have
I
to share that if you don't want to.
Oh yeah, I don't mind. I'm an unambiguous dark skinned woman. I did gain weight during COVID, and I'm working on losing that weight. And when you feel better, you can bring out your cuter clothes again. There's all that stuff. So I'm aware of um, Afrocentric woman. I think it was you in one of your videos. You were talking about like, oh, if I lose 10 more pounds, then I can get this kind of guy. If I lose 20 more pounds, then I can get this kind of guy. And as much as we'd like to say everybody will love us for exactly the beautiful soul that we are, they call it a dating market for a reason. So we have to know how we can end up on the top shelf.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You can get good, but I mean, being height weight proportionate and being of average size, you don't have to be bone real skinny.
Hmm.
And you don't have to be like a super fitness whatever warrior, but just being height weight proportionate and being of average size opens up your options to a lot more men. A lot more men.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think, you know, I I know weight, black women and their weight is a sensitive topic to a lot, but you're right. If you are able to just be healthy and have a good proportionate size, you do get a lot more options. I mean, there's women who have dropped significant weight and they'll tell you themselves that they now get so much more attention from guys than they have before. Like there was one black woman who dropped a lot of weight, like over 100 something pounds. She was on TikTok and she said she would, when she had all that weight, she was like invisible. Like it just didn't matter. Guys just didn't see her. And now that she's 100 pounds lighter, she gets so many different kinds of men, different types of options. And she's divorced with she has a daughter, I believe. So, um, yeah, just being able, and she's not stick skinny either. Even though she lost a lot of weight, she's not like a supermodel skinny, but she looks really, really good, and she's definitely fit, and she has a very good proportionate body, and yeah, I mean, I think having a healthy lifestyle and a fitness routine can get you far no matter what, whether you're trying to date or not. So,
I do have a quick question for you ladies, if you don't mind. Um,
Go
so
for it.
thank you. So yesterday I was out because you got to be out and pay attention to sporting events. I found out that my local town has a soccer bar, so I went there to watch the U.S. game against the Netherlands for the World Cup. And there were a couple guys. I am not dating my racial counterpart because it just hasn't ended well. And with femicide and instances that I've had, that's just not something I'm looking to do at this time. But do you ladies have any tips for um, approaching men of the dominant society to flirt with them, to let them know that you're available for potentially romantic interaction? Because there are some guys that I'll talk to and they'll come and they'll introduce themselves and then they get nervous and they leave, or they'll kind of look at you from across the room and then I'll smile, but then they don't feel enough courage, I guess, to come over and talk. So is there a way to femininely invite them and let them know without kind of seeming too obvious or desperate?
Fine womanhood. Are you actively dating? Are you in a relationship?
yeah, so I'm in a relationship. I met my man off of Hinge. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said Hinge. Met my man off of Bumble. He is white. Um, but I've been so I'm sorry. Uh, what's the speaker's name again?
Demure. I mean, I
Demir.
can give you what I would do in a situation like that. I usually ask like asinine questions or just like I've never been here before,
Right.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh, like what do you recommend? Oh my god, what are you drinking that looks so good? Do you think, I don't know, I'm really into this kind of stuff, or I like sweet drinks. What would you recommend? Or, or I'd like to try a craft beer. What do you recommend? Or,
Mhm.
that kind of a thing. Or who are you rooting for? So you're talking about other things that makes conversation. And if they kind of like want to talk to you, or they want to pursue you, romantically or whatever, they will do it. Once you kind of open the door to show that you're friendly and it's open and you can have a conversation with them, then
Yeah,
if
you
they're
can also
attracted, they'll follow up with you.
yeah, and after you can and say you really are interested in this guy, like, you're asking him all these questions and you're still interested and maybe he's still kind of not getting the hint. You could just start something that I do a lot is I start giving guys compliments right in their face, that usually they start blushing, and then that's usually a sign that you're interested in them more than, the professional setting or whatever you guys are talking about. I say, comment on what they're wearing. I say, I really like your your shirt. I really like your style. Or like, it's so funny you even asked this question now that I'm thinking about it. Last night I went to I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Dave and Buster's. Do you guys have
I
one
love
of
that
those?
place. Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I didn't know if it was just my area, but I went there last night and I had a bunch of friends that I invited. And so one of my girlfriends, I have a guy friend. He's like a brother to me, literally. He's like a brother, and my girlfriend, they don't know each other. So they met each other for the first time last night, and she told me, "Oh my God, he's so cute and he's so cool to talk to. He has a great personality. I want to make a move on him." And so I was like, "Girl, go for it." So we're all talking in conversation, and she basically did, yeah, exactly what Afrocentric woman is saying. She asked him questions and stuff like that, and then after a while, she started complimenting him. He has a beard, so she's like, "Oh my gosh, I really love your beard," and he started blushing. He's like, "Oh, thank you," and I kind of put my attention somewhere else for a moment, but I turned back to the conversation towards the tail end of it, and she just went for it. She said something really flirty. Um, I think she was telling her about something that he's doing. I forgot what it was. But then she responds back and she's like, "Well, I can show you a few things myself." And I was
Who?
like, "Girl,"
Okay, 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 okay. Let me interject here. Okay, let me interject
I
here.
was like, "Girl, that is
I
so forward." But it
we
was
Yeah, we can.
playful, it was cute, and he was blushing some more. And I do think they exchanged numbers, but he's not really that type of guy to be on that type of time. But it was flirty and it was very friendly. So I don't think you should be that forward. But it's okay to like be flirty. Like a playful flirtiness is very innocent, and have have some humor to it too, so it's not too serious. Especially if you're in a
Mhm.
professional setting. But I just think in general, leading with some humor, with some playfulness, is also a good way to kind of break that ice of like being so cold and him just, you know, if that making sense. I hope.
Yes. Thank,
Mango
thanks.
Mango
Yes.
Pill has a great comment. She says, "Girl, show up to the nice sports bar and just look cute and be friendly. Talk to the bartender. Let people hear you talking. Let people hear how friendly you sound when you speak." And the thing about it is like it's a fine line that you walk, because what we're trying to do when we go out, and there's like certain communities are not as aggressive as others, right?
Yes.
But
It
what you're
took me a
trying
long time to get that. I was like, you
Yes.
know how many dates I missed?
Yes, but what we're trying to do is open up the door, right? We're trying to open up the door to say, "Hey, if you wanna come in this door, you can. The door is open." But to avoid veering off into pick me land and to avoid veering off into aggressive land, you kinda wanna walk that fine line of letting him know that you're totally open, but letting him pursue you, right?
Mhm. That's
And
like,
And if you
Yeah,
open
I
up the
agree with
door
that
and no
too.
one's pursuing, then you kind of can go back to the drawing board and be like, okay, what's going on with my looks? What's going on with my clothes? What's going on with my perfume? Are you making sure you have the right fragrance? Your hair, your nails, all that's on point. Your resting bee face is you don't have one and you look open and you're having fun. Then you can kind of go and tweak all those things and kind of see where you are. But I don't think you should make up the difference with laying it on thick, because the thing about guys is if you lay it on thick, even if they're not that into you, they'll take it, right? Because you're serving
Mm,
up yourself on a platter
true.
and you're saying, "Oh, I'm here, I'm available, and I'm open for business," or whatever. I'm here and I'm just serving myself to you. And they were like, "Well, I really wasn't going to go for it, but it's so easy, why not? It's just right
Right.
here. It's just right here. I'll go ahead and take it." And so what we try to do as level up daters is we try to find the men who are genuinely attracted to us, because when we find men who are genuinely attracted to us and who will pursue us, we have better dating experiences, and it's much more lucrative and it's much more upscale because the guy is genuinely interested in you and he's going to want to actually put forth effort into dating you. You know what I mean? So, because if you start the interaction picking up all the slack, it'll never change. It will never change.
And that's what I worry about because I feel like, okay, so professionally, um, there are, of course, leadership tends to look like a certain middle-aged race, and I like my likability factor is very high at the office, and it's a great environment. And I have done, I wouldn't say flirting, but just being like very friendly and bubbly. I'm good at that with all of like the male leadership team and the female members of the leadership team as well. So like I said, they're all like married men, so it would never be anything unprofessional for a lot of reasons. But I'm having trouble translating that from like, good conversations, like a little bit of like pretend smack talk with like the guys from IT, that sort of thing. But yeah, so thanks for this advice, ladies, because it's going to help me translate it from a work environment where you want to make sure that you can leverage your social capital to a place where I'm trying to leverage things more romantically without, again, like being too aggressive or giving people the wrong impression.
Yeah, and your work energy is more masculine, right? Because you
Mm-hmm.
have to get shit done. You have to assert yourself. So a lot of times you are in the more masculine like mindset. So when you change your clothes, right, out of your work clothes, or if you're going straight from work like to happy hour or something like that, have a scarf or a pendant or something to represent that it's a different time, like a ritual that you can go through.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that you can be like, or if you change your jacket or you take you have a blazer and you take the blazer off, maybe put something else on, because you need to kind of like change your mindset. Like now you're going into frolic around and play and look cute and be and just embody and just be. And so it's a totally different energy. That is the type of energy that's magnetic.
I will definitely try that more. Like I would say I'm pretty feminine. But yeah, I think it's also me, like, okay, so with the one particular guy from the soccer bar yesterday, it was like I was gonna say something to him, but then I saw him being nervous and it made me nervous that he was nervous, and then I ended up not saying anything. I said, no, damn.
Hmm. Oh, was
I
he your
think,
own age?
yeah.
Yeah, he was about my age.
That's always hard.
Yeah, because I've
That's
been,
always hard.
yeah, I mean,
I mean, if a guy is nervous, I mean, because guys do get nervous. Like, not every guy that even may be interested in you is going to be this macho, confident guy who's masculine, gentleman, and well, there's a lot of guys who are going to be interested in you but are shy, don't believe you even want them. So they may want to do that to you, show you those really good qualities that they have, but they are unsure that you're going to receive it because they don't know you. So that's why I'm saying, like, it's okay to put out some choosing signals, Like my friend from last night, she was very forward and very flirty. That's kind of just her personality. But
Mm-hmm.
if that's not really you, you're not really that forward like that. Um, then I would just send some choosing signals, like make really good eye contact, smile. Um, you know, I feel like with those shy guys, a bubbly type of approach tends to work well. From my experience, it tends to make them feel more relaxed, and it confirms like, oh, she's like, interested in talking to me. She has a really good attitude. She's smiling at me. She's making eye contact. So it makes them feel comfortable, and it confirms to them that I can be myself. Because, there's a lot of guys who have tried to be their selves first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
And, they've gotten burned. And then especially as Black women, a lot of them almost, yeah, just a lot of them don't even think you'd be interested anyway. So I
Yeah.
think particularly for Black women, you do have to prioritize sending choosing signals, because these guys don't know that you want them, literally, because they don't see it around a lot. You know they just don't know, so you can't blame them for that. So this may have to include you being really confident on your end as well. And, I think sending choosing signals is not desperate. I don't think it's pick me either. I think it can literally just be a part of who you are. Like when you see someone and they're, you make eye contact with them, like, I don't know, and you smile and you laugh. Like it doesn't have to be something you even need to think about. It can be natural. Um, so, I think if you're approaching if a guy is shy, maybe up your confidence level, and then that will give him, the to feel comfortable to do it as well himself. Because a lot of guys are big on consent, like they don't want to be in your face, and they know you're not comfortable with that. So
Right.
it's a lot of other factors that go into it. Um, and no, I don't think you're desperate for doing that. Not at all. I mean, if you're doing it with a guy who is giving you the time of day, no, I don't. I think it's desperate if you're doing it to a guy who's not checking for you whatsoever. Then I think that's desperate.
Yeah, that makes sense. Ah, thank you. Because I've been like kind of in my head about it because I'm trying to, I'm just trying to like do better when I go out because I've gotten down like the dress feminine part and the get out and do stuff part. Like I freestyle regularly, but it's when those moments happen where it could really be turned into something that I think I kind of freeze up. So thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know who said desperate. Did somebody say desperate
No, I
earlier?
said that I don't want to be desperate
I
or
think she
desperate.
said
Oh,
if
okay,
you, yeah,
okay.
she was she was
I
looking.
missed you saying that. I was like,
Yeah, she was
I
looking
didn't
for
say
like
that.
a non-desperate way to, um, you know, uh, make a guy like, or yeah, what we've been talking about. Sorry.
Show him that it's safe to approach.
Yes.
Yeah, like a
Yeah,
non-desperate way to approach and show that interest and stuff like that. So yeah,
All right. Well, thank you.
you're welcome. Check back with
you're
us and let us
welcome.
know how it goes.
Yeah,
Sounds
I
good.
definitely want to hear how it goes.
Thanks. I will.
Sorry, I'm responding to somebody in the chat. As long as you're not a troll. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, I haven't been freestyling in a little bit. No, actually, I went the other day. I might do a story time coming up soon because I got stood up on a date. But I turned the night around and I ended up having a really great night.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of baffles me a little bit that people still do that because it happened like a couple weeks ago, but I had the date set up for a place that was like in a plaza where I do all my errands. So yeah, I love when it still ends up not being an L.
Where were y'all gonna meet?
We were supposed to meet at this. It's called X Golf. I'm not sure how many places they have it, but it's like an indoor golf simulator thing, and there's like six different booths or whatever, so you can golf courses from all over the world. And I'm definitely also for the last year and a half, I've made it a point that anytime I go on a date, I'm doing something new or something different. So whatever happens, at least I'm getting new experiences. And then If I don't find any new options, at least I know I'm adding to my list of places where I can have a good time.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, Taters, welcome to the stage. What would you like to share today?
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Awesome. Awesome. First of all, I would like to say thank you for having me or letting me come up. I actually just recently started watching your channel and I freaking love it. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's live. Let me just see if I can go up and chat with her and whoever else is up here. Um, but I did have a question. I love your channel because you offer so much great dating advice and a lot of strategy. And I just hopped back into dating. I After watching a lot of your videos, I was encouraged to hop back in. I stopped dating back in like July. I was dating like multiple guys and I kind of got annoyed, so I dropped them all. I get annoyed and sometimes I need a break. Um, so I got back into it. But my question is, how can someone who is extremely approachable by anyone, like anybody feels, that they can approach you. How can someone who's extremely approachable use that in the dating world? Because I feel like, or use that to my advantage
Mm-hmm.
for um, higher paid men, because I feel like every person, including the Dusties, are comfortable coming up to me. And it's really annoying because I feel like people also complain that I have a resting B face, but they're comfortable coming up to me as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't want to be that person who's just too easily approachable, but
Mm-hmm.
like who can be approached by well paid men. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I think that
Yeah.
your environment is the biggest thing.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Who you're
Because
around.
yeah,
Yeah.
you sound if people feel comfortable approaching you and you feel comfortable and confident starting up conversations and networking and meeting people, but dusties are coming up to you, then I would think the environment is dusty. So I would look at some high-end places in your area. Like, do you have five-star hotels? Do you have really nice lounges, places where it's valet only? Um, Another thing that you could look up is like conferences coming to your city. Um, just like tech conferences or something like that, where there's going to be a lot of guys, in town, visiting and things like that. Um, Another thing that you could do is try to go to charity events, um, especially at like country clubs are a great place to do them. And a lot of them are way more affordable than you would ever imagine. um, Charity events, and gosh, there was one other place I was thinking about. It's like escaping me right now. But you just have to kind of put yourself in that environment. Sometimes, like aviation shows, if you're on the coast, you can go to boat shows. Um, there's just different, like little niche things. And another thing, usually guys with money, they run on Saturdays. So if you want to do like a 5K, like even if you're not necessarily running, but if you
Hmm.
get there early, most of those guys that do those 5, 10Ks, half marathons and stuff like that, most of them have money, you know,
Hmm.
and they run, they do races on the weekends. So I would just kind of sit down and write down, your roadmap of like what are your go-to places? When you get ready to mingle, when you feel like mingling, you're ready to go out, have that preset list of like places that you can go that are upscale.
So I just a little bit of um, I guess context, maybe clarity. I live in the suburbs of Illinois, so I don't. I'm living in more of a family neighborhood more than a single neighborhood. I refuse to live in the city of Chicago, and I know most of the people are single there, but I'm not gonna lie, like I feel like Chicago, I don't want to live there. So I prefer to stay. outside of it, I'll only go there to I have a friend who lives I have a few friends that live there. So I'll go down there and I'll hang out with them. But I refuse to live there. I think about the only place where I can maybe meet single men is at my gym. It's a nice gym. So and they offer a lot. It's a nice gym, but I don't know. I just feel like where I live, most of the people are like there's there's a lot of family.
How far is the drive to Chicago?
Uh, well, if I take the toll roads, it's about 45 minutes. But if I take the back roads without paying the tolls, about an hour and some change.
Hour and some change. I mean, you could maybe go once a month. I mean, maybe go to like the finance district or the hospital district. Just try to be
Hmm.
strategic with your time. Like, where are doctors hanging out? Where are financiers hanging out? Where are the people with money? There and it's people with real estate, things like that. And just maybe go once a month. You don't have to go every weekend.
Hmm.
The more often you put yourself in that environment, of course, the more likelihood you would be to meet wealthy men. But if you can just do once a month, then just commit to doing once a month so that you don't overwhelm yourself. But in order to be in an affluent, because Dusties can afford to go to your gym, even though you have a nice gym, Dusties care about their muscles because Dusties need to keep their body up so that their girlfriends will continue to keep paying their bills.
Ugh.
So a Dusty is going to pay for the gym before he pays for his food, okay? Because he knows how important it is to maintain his looks. So they're going to be at your gym. So if you want to meet affluent men, you got to just put in a little extra effort and carry your behind out to Chicago to the finance district or hospital district or something
Go to a
and
lot of coffee shops.
put yourself where they are.
Okay. I will do that. I can do that. And I can do that. I can do that. I just don't want to live there.
You don't have to.
And you know
You
what?
don't have
The
to.
the last few guys I dated, they wanted me to move out there, and I'm like, I don't want to live in Chicago. You're gonna get me a house out here, like no. And I'm just so used to living in the outskirts. I grew up on the outskirts, and I'm not interested in living in some big hustle and bustling city. And I just feel like crime is right around the corner. Like even if you live in a nice spot, the idea of that just it kind of scares me a bit. So I live in the suburbs on purpose. But
Well,
most of the guys that I date are on the outside. I mean,
they
I'm sorry,
probably
in Chicago.
they're probably business owners in your city, even though it's a suburb. There's probably business owners. Somebody's got to be a doctor there. Somebody's got to be a dentist.
There
Somebody
are
has
a
to.
lot of doctors in the area that I live, doctors and dental facilities and lawyer offices where I live.
Where do they hang out?
Oh, I don't know.
Now you've got your homework. You've got your homework now. You've
I guess
got
they're
homework.
always out
Where
there.
where are these guys in your suburban town? Where are the wealthy guys hanging out? You got to find that out.
Well, I will say this because I just don't want to give too much information and then feel like I'm doxing myself. I mean, I live in a downtown area, but like I said, it's very family. Like I know when all the days, all the families will come out. I also live right around the corner from a high school, so it's super family oriented, and that's why like last time I went out, I was like there's family everywhere. And if there's not a bunch of older people or mid-aged people with their wives and their children, it's a bunch of high schoolers. And I was like, I don't know who's single because everybody's with someone. And then they're too young. So I guess I will have to try harder down here, but I just feel like everybody's a family down here. So I just feel like I have to branch out. That's
Yeah,
basically what it is.
you've got a couple directions. I mean, one direction is to figure out. I mean, although there might be a lots and lots of families there, there has to be some single men. There has to be some. Where are they going? Some it might be a happy hour, it might be a sports bar or something. I don't know. You have to find that out. That's one
Hmm.
track. And then the other track is plan a trip to Chicago once a month or something. to something, be very strategic with your time. Try to
Hmm.
have it back to back to back. If you go on a dating app and like, let's say you set up a date, try to go freestyle before and after your date. You know what I mean? Try to maximize your time. It takes us so long to get dressed, right? It takes
Hmm.
us so long to do our makeup. We might as well get as much mileage out of that outfit and that makeup as possible, you know? So
Hmm.
just maximize your time, um, to put yourself where you need to be, because originally you're saying, "Hey, I'm doing my life, I'm living my life, and lots of dusties are approaching me. So we got to
And
put you where the dusties
I'll
aren't."
I also want to clarify, like, the Dusties, they approach me a lot at my job. And there's all types of people who come through where my job is. Like, they could be businessmen, they could be super, super dusty, like, or just regular. Like, everybody comes through my job. Like, so that's kind of where I meet them. And it's extremely annoying because I'm just like, everybody feels like they can approach me. People feel like they can approach me for directions, and it's highly annoying because, like, why do you think I know where you need to go? And I hate it because I'm just like, do I have this? People tell me I have a RBF, but also tell me, um, well, let me tell you how too much of approachable I am. I had a white lady at the grocery store tell me that I should smile. That's how too approachable I am. And it's extremely annoying because it's not just her who's approached me and told me that. I've had many people tell me that. And I'm just like, well, why do people feel comfortable coming up to me and telling me anything? And it's extremely annoying. I kind of want to be the person who's just like, don't approach me without having your ish together. Um, I just wanted to know how to navigate that and use it to my advantage because I feel like anybody feels like they can approach me. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I That's all I wanted to really ask. I probably have more questions, but I'm a little nervous.
You're fine. Fine womanhood, did you have anything to add to my advice, or
No,
you
I
have
think you're
other?
spot on. I think, you know, uh, yeah, we all want to avoid the dusties, obviously, right? But just try to surround yourself as much like positive environments as possible, like where men are have a leveled up way of thinking, just like you, and try to go to those places. I know Chicago has a lot of successful single guys. Um, so yeah, you should, yeah, girl, like tap into that for sure. They
You know
have a
what
lot of
I'm
great guys
thinking
there.
about? Look up the Wharton School of Business. It's like a renowned business school. Look and see if they have any alumni events. Go to the website and see if that business school has any events. And I would totally go.
The Wharton School of Business.
Yes.
Wait, why should she be ashamed of herself? Someone in
Oh,
the chat. Rich girl, duh. She should be ashamed of herself.
I'm sorry. I'm not even looking at the chat. I was like,
I
what?
just happened to peek
I
at
don't
it.
I don't she talking maybe the title or something? I don't know.
Oh, I hope. Okay, I hope so. Because there's nothing to be ashamed of trying to avoid dusties, honey. Okay, so I'm
Oh,
not
they're just
pushing
way too dusty. I can't take it. I'm coughing every day. I
When I see a guy's gone to the Wharton School, I swipe right on him immediately. I don't even look at the profile.
Oh, one more thing, if you don't mind. So I watched one of your videos where you say you actually pretty much say it in all your videos, but that you only date older, like you date older men. Um, and I was on the younger, like, because I'm on Hinge right now, and I had it. I didn't set it myself. I had to change it, but Hinge automatically set my age range, or for the guys I was looking for, around like 22 to like 26. And I was becoming so annoyed because these guys, they don't have any substance. They can't have a conversation. They
Taters.
suck.
Taters.
And I
I
had
don't
to change it.
Yes, I don't mean to cut you off, but that's something in your complete control.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought it was gonna have the age range like broader than that, but it naturally put it between 22 and like 26. And I was like, holy moly, these guys suck. Like, and as soon as I changed my age range to like, I think I changed it to like 45. That's the what the highest I'm willing to go. Um, I just started getting a bunch of these men interested. They're like, sending me flowers. And I'm like, well, hey, where did this energy just come from? The
How
whole
how old
360.
how old are you, Taters?
I'm
Just a range.
25.
25? Okay. The oldest you're willing to go is 45. Okay.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh, you're so young. Girl, you
Yeah,
have
she
so
is.
I mean, wow. Yeah.
Well, I'm about to be 26, but it's like in a month. But still, I was like,
You're
oh
still
God,
so
these
young.
guys,
45
these,
is good.
I, I've dated an older guy before, but these guys, they just have no personality. Like, good Lord. Like, and then it's like, then they want to unmatch you because they think you're dry, but it's like you responded to whatever they sent you. And it's like not much of a response because they're not sending you, oh my Lord, I couldn't take it. So
Mhm.
I feel like the older men have more of a conversation to offer. They have more to offer in general. But there are still a lot of dusty men that still are willing to try to match me. Do you have that too? Afrocentric? Do the dusty still try on Hinge?
Yeah. Um,
Okay.
Let me see. Sometimes I go incognito because I have too many matches and it takes me a while to kind of like get a handle on what is already in my inbox. Like, so I'll go incognito a lot. So they are not seeing me, but I can see them. And so, of course, I'm not swiping on anybody dusty. Do dusty people get in the queue sometimes? Yeah, but it's very simple. I mean, you just swipe left and move on. It's very easy.
I think the
I don't,
Dusties they're all gonna try it because they're all gonna aim really high and try to swipe on a girl that is obviously completely out of their league. I think they're still just gonna try it. So yeah, you just gotta swipe left and keep it moving.
yeah, because I don't think that they're pursuing you says that much about you. Like, for them, it's a numbers game, right? So they kind of try to cast a wide net. So I really wouldn't pay too much attention to that, but just focus on kind of becoming like what you want, you know?
Hmm. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys having me up, or you ladies having me up here. Thank you for answering my questions. I had fun. I do have to get ready to go, but thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for coming up.
Thank you. Yeah, I
Again,
also have to drop off too. I have to get ready, but this was a great conversation. So thank you, ladies, so much.
thanks so much.
Bye.
Thanks, Fine Womanhood. Thanks, haters. See y'all.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Yes, this is coming to a natural conclusion. I have mommy duties awaiting me. My little one is wanting my attention, so I'm going to go tend to her and see how her craft project is going. But thank y'all so much for tuning in and allowing me to share some thoughts about the situation. And then the conversation kind of, took a different direction and we were able to just have some girl talk. And that's always fun too. So, yeah. All right. Thank you so much. If you have not yet subscribed, please do like the video and share. All right. Talk soon. Bye.